invited Assad to China.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and here we go again. It's a brand new work week. It's a Monday, the 9th day of December for 2024. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, a great way to start your day. We've got all of your news, weather, and sports coming up, and we'll dive into a lot of topics here today. The college football playoff field has been announced. We'll take a look at that. Nebraska has their bowl destination site now set. We'll talk about that coming up. The Husker volleyball team, women's basketball team were in action over the weekend. The men's basketball team was on the road playing at Michigan State. They came up short on Saturday. Emma Johnson is back with the Huskers. We'll tell you about that coming up. And guess who has a new job? Former coach Scott Frost. We'll talk about that all coming up. The Broncos, the Lopers also in action over the weekend. Good morning, Tyson. It's been a busy weekend in sports, and we're going to recap it here in the next hour or so here on Huddle Up. Good morning. How are you?
Absolutely no shortage of topics this morning to dive into on Huddle Up. I'm doing okay. Still a little sore. Football sucks. It's hard to watch sometimes when your favorite team gets creamed by your previous favorite team, who's no longer anywhere close to your favorite team because the owner uproots it and takes it to LA, and you have just a disdain in your heart for him and his ownership and that team. And then they go out and kick your butts because you forgot how to do a defense. All offense. If you're a fantasy football player out there, you were enjoying the Los Angeles Buffalo game as they put on an absolute show. And Josh Allen has proved once again why he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I wish the defense would have stepped up because he had a historic day. 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns. First quarterback in NFL history to accomplish such a feat, and you still lose.
Yeah, I saw that.
You still lose as Buffalo fell short. You just got behind multiple scores. You know, they're down by 17 going into the fourth quarter, and Allen leads this just heroic comeback, puts them within striking distance. They have an opportunity, but, you know, here's Tom Brady was talking about, you got a minute left, and if you throw it 3 times here, you've got a better chance to kick it deep, and like a minute left, I'm like, you're probably kicking it onside anyway. I don't know. It comes down to a whole bunch of analytics, and I guess a minute is no longer what it used to be in terms of drive time ability. But Buffalo was, they went for it on a 1st and goal and got stuffed, and that took them out of potential time to where they could use their timeouts to get the ball back in some sort of timely fashion. LA wins the football game, irregardless. We still go 3-2, but that was a bummer because that would have flipped things for me. Would have been a 4-1. Would have felt a lot better about 4-1. Would have actually put some money in my pocket because I played part of my 5-teamer as a 3-teamer. And going in, like I'm going into NFL Sunday, I'm excited. Like I was going to watch all of the NFL games because I was sitting in a really good position after going 2 for 2 on the college football slate. Had a great day. I'm thinking, okay, all we got to do is pick up a few wins here in the NFL. Can't get it done. You went
3-2 with your blazing 5 over the weekend. Tim Stroman, he's back in the starting rotation.
He's back in the winner's circle.
Yeah, he went.
Timmy.
Yeah, he went 4-1.
He missed by like a point, I think. Missed 5-0 by a point.
Yeah, because he had New Orleans was his loser. New Orleans was favored by 4. And the Saints won by 3 yesterday.
That stings.
14-11. Or Timmy would have went 5-0.
That's a kick where it counts.
So he went 4-1. You went 3-2.
Nope.
I was 2-3 again this week.
You 2-3. Dakota was 2-1.
I had, you were accusing me of having inside information on Western Kentucky.
Yep.
Jacksonville State beat Western Kentucky 52-12
Oof.
on Friday. I was getting 4.5 points with Jacksonville State, so I jumped on Western Kentucky because I knew some people that do the radio broadcast for Western Kentucky.
Yep.
So I hopped aboard and I got my ass kicked.
All right, bring the torch back up here.
52-12.
Bring the torch back to the west side, please. We'll take it from here.
I got beat on Friday, so that got me in a good mood on Friday. Then I picked up a Georgia win.
Yep.
Over Texas on Saturday. I lost Penn State, Oregon.
Yep.
I won the Seattle-Arizona game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And why did I take Chicago?
I don't know.
They didn't have a head coach.
You took him because that San Francisco didn't have a running back, remember?
But their third-string running back was pretty good.
Yeah, this just in. You need a head coach first.
San Francisco thumps the Bears yesterday, 38-13. So my wife, we were watching the games, and I told her, I says, before the Chicago game started, I said, I'm on Chicago today with my Blazing Five. And she gave me one of those looks like,
Really?
Why did you take Chicago?
Like the look that I give you when you take like a Penn State over Oregon.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
So yeah, she just, and she knows nothing about football, but she looked at me and says, "Why did you take Chicago?"
She knows enough to know that the Bears are miserable,
yeah,
and are a miserable pick, especially without a head coach.
So San Francisco, they thumped the Bears yesterday.
They thumped the Bears. The Titans game. Well, I'm gonna quickly just hit the Titans football really quick. Battle of two miserable teams, right? So, like, why are we talking about it? We're talking about it because NFL head coaching is still out in the woods and in the wilderness, and I don't care what analytics say at this point anymore. If it's first and freaking goal from the 1 yard line, run the damn ball. Run the ball.
What they do? Try to pass it?
They Will Levis attempted 3 straight passes. And they go, and then for some reason they're like, let's go for it on 4th too. We're at the 1. They attempt a 4th down pass, missed that too. That was before halftime. Tennessee still had the lead, and I knew at that point I turned it off because I'm like, you know what? They've already sealed their fate. I said the Jacksonville is going to come down. They're going to score in the second half, which they did. Nobody scored again. It was the most miserable offensive game ever.
It was like 10-7 or something.
It was
wasn't it?
10-6, I think.
10-6.
2 field goals. Anyways, Titans needed that touchdown, and I figured if they would have had the touchdown, that would have been a lock because Jacksonville wasn't scoring. But no, they pass it 4 straight times from the 1. Run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. Yes. Let's go. Lesson to all NFL offensive coordinators out there.
Oh, God.
I'm
so
still available.
Those are just some of the highlights from our
Or
football
lowlights.
watching over the weekend. Our football watching. Let's see. Anything surprising out of the college football playoff that we want to talk about? Alabama is out. SMU is in. That was a little surprising to me yesterday.
That's the big one. I think that's kind of the big sigh of relief to all those people, including myself. I mean, I was on the bandwagon of the SEC, ESPN bias, and here's Alabama getting in over Miami. Then they turned around, they did the right thing. They turned around and they put the right team in SMU over in Alabama. And it's quality of losses. Alabama lost 2 to 6-win teams, right? I mean, and SMU comes in there, and I think in terms of the quality, when you took the resume, like nobody was focusing on the key losses, except for everybody on social media that was like, Bama lost to them. You look at the quality of losses, and that puts SMU, it flips it over. And I think the biggest chatter right now in terms of the college football playoff is the seeding, and is that automatic bye. It's like, the reward for being Big Ten champion is going to face off against 2 potential juggernauts, right? Whereas you got Boise in there that gets the automatic bye. That's the big discussion right now, just in terms of tweaking the formula. But my God, what a refreshment. And what a refreshing conversation to have, to not sit here and say who's 3 and who's 4. We're talking about who's 12 and who's 13. That's such a better look, I think, for college football. But yeah, I'm with a lot of people. I still think we could use some retweaking when it comes to the automatic buys.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think you just should see them 1 through 12 and get on with it.
Straight up
Yep.
1 through 12. You
Yep.
get the qualifiers. Yep, top 4 seeds.
Top 4 seeds get the first round buys.
Yep.
And forget about this highest rated conference champion thing.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think you'll see some tweaking after this year. This is the first year of the 12 team field. So, yeah, but they're gonna make some tweaks, and that's probably going to be one of them beginning next year. So, but I think it's better than what we had before. So,
I think it's miles. It's miles better than where we were at. But yeah, like I said, I think Ryan was one of the comments on my Facebook this weekend, and he was talking about the automatic qualifiers. I'm with him. And Ryan's a little down in the dumps today. He's got Kansas basketball in a funk. Court storming getting old. Thank goodness the Chiefs donked their way to the AFC West first place.
Yeah,
I was bouncing their way, literally.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that, but
Yeah.
What's on Ryan's mind this morning? Something about Kansas?
Kansas basketball in a little bit of a funk right now.
They lose over the weekend?
I think they did. I believe they did. I can't remember who they played off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was busy Saturday and didn't see a lot of college basketball. I think they lost again. I think I saw some headlines that Kansas lost again. Ryan Martin, he'll let us know.
Yeah.
He's in. He's in the studio.
Oh, they lost to my Missouri.
Really?
Oof. It's a tough one. 76-67.
Wow.
Missouri Sunday. They cover the 6.5 spread there. Missouri's 8-1. And still not in the top 25. Probably will be this week after knocking off Kansas.
Last night's NFL game. Once again, Kansas City goes to the wire, and they bang home a field goal with 1 second remaining with our third-string kicker in Matthew Wright as he bangs one off of the upright from 31 yards out. And the Chiefs beat the Los Angeles Chargers last night by a score of 19-17. Can Kansas City find any other way to win a game late in this football season? Now they bang a field goal as basically a gimme from 31 yards out with their third string kicker. They bang it off of the left upright, and it goes through the pipes, and the Chiefs win the division with a 19-17 win over the Chargers.
When the ball is bouncing your way, you're going to get all of the bounces. I mean,
Yep.
and they're just on a ride right now. And here's what excites me about from the Kansas City perspective. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not jumping on the bandwagon anytime soon. I think Buffalo and KC are still on a collision course.
There's plenty of room on my bandwagon if you'd like to
Plenty of room.
to hop on my bandwagon.
What you got to be excited about, I think, moving forward is any scenario in the postseason that Kansas City finds themselves in. They have found a way to get out of that scenario and found a way to win this year. They have found a way to pull games out of the depths of hell itself and bring them and turn them around for a W. And so Kansas City is very well versed in, I think, just about every single possible scenario that you could find yourself in the postseason to find their way to win. And that's a culture you want to be a part of. Even though they don't win pretty, even though they don't cover the spread, they find ways to win football games. And that, to me, is a dangerous football team. Yeah, some of their offensive weapons are no longer there, right? Some of the flash in the past is it has dwindled a little bit. However, they still find a way to win football games. And so in my mind, they're still the favorites in the AFC.
Yeah.
Even over my Buffalo Bills.
I don't know if they're an overwhelming favorite.
I'm just giving you a little glimmer of hope here, little buddy.
I know, but I sat and watched that last night.
Hmm?
We're not as good as we used to be.
Nope.
I don't know why either. We got some weapons. We got plenty of weapons.
How big is the Eric Bieniemy loss? Offensive coordinator.
Give him a call.
How big is that loss? I mean, would you have him pull a Emmett Johnson and turn around and come back? Would you have him pull a Scott Frost, turn around and come back to Kansas City?
We got so much to talk about today.
We have to get into it.
We really do. We got so much to talk about today. Anyway, if you'd like to join us, we really love to have you join us. Either drop us a message on Facebook Live or on Twitch. I think you're watching those comments as well. Mm-hmm. You can give us a call if you'd like, 402-834-1330. If you'd like to chat with us about any number of things to talk about here today. Haven't even talked about the Pinstripe Bowl yet.
We'll get into that, dude.
God, we're excited about that.
I'm so pumped.
I'm so pumped up. Nebraska and Boston College in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Let's go.
God, I can't wait for that. Can't wait for that.
17
anyway,
stretch.
If you'd like to join us, no matter where you're listening to us today, either on the website at x-streamsports.com, on your smartphone with our free mobile app, on your smart speaker, on Roku TV, on Facebook Live, on YouTube or Twitch, wherever you're listening to us, thank you for starting your day the right way with us here on Extreme Sports. And if you'd like to chime in again, leave us a message if you would on Facebook Live or on Twitch, or give us a call again. 402-834-1330 is our number. It is already 7:16 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Local news this hour brought to you in part by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where since 1946, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been a part of the Hastings community, and it's a community that is at the heart of everything they do. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join, and joining the credit union is as simple as opening a primary savings account. With a convenient drive-up, a 24-hour ATM, and a friendly staff who knows you by name, why would you go anywhere else? Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online at hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We'll start off this morning with Buffalo Wild Wings Go officially opening in Hastings. They opened at 11 a.m. on Friday morning with customers waiting at the door to get first dibs on the wings. Buffalo Wild Wings Go will be open from 11 to 11 on weekdays and open until midnight Friday and Saturday. Plans for a Qdoba Go in the same building are also in the works, with a target open date set for sometime in 2025. Also set to open in 2025, the Grand Island Casino Resort. 7 stories, fine dining restaurant at the very top, and beautiful views promised. Also promised a big economic impact driver, as the hotel and casino are looking to hire an additional 200 jobs. The University of Nebraska's economic impact on the state has grown from $5.8 billion to $6.4 billion over the past 3 years, as members of the boards of regents heard about the university's economic impact on the state at their meeting last week. The full report will be published in early 2025 that looks at university spending in the state, as well as the money spent by employees, students, and visitors for university events. The report shows the university invests $10 back to the state for every dollar it receives, information that will be very helpful as university officials start budget discussions with state lawmakers coming up in January. Former state lawmaker and now state treasurer Tom Breezy reminds Nebraskans to contribute to Enable Savings Plan before December 31st to take advantage of the end-of-year tax-deductible contributions to the savings program. Nebraska's Enable Savings Plan was specifically designed to encourage persons with a disability to save for future qualified disability expenses. The Enable Savings Plan assists individuals who have a disability by providing sound investment choices for saving for the future. For more information on that plan, you can visit enablesavings.com. It's 7:18. Let's swing things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's happening in sports?
Well, undefeated Oregon earned the number 1 overall seed in the first 12-team college football playoff field announced yesterday, while SMU, despite a loss in the ACC championship game, nudged out Alabama to earn the final spot. Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State were awarded first-round byes, guaranteed to the 4 highest-rated conference champions. The first-round matchups will have Clemson playing at Texas, Tennessee at Ohio State, SMU at Penn State, and Indiana at Notre Dame. Nebraska will make its return to the postseason in New York City, as the Huskers have been selected to play in the Pinstripe Bowl against Boston College on Saturday, December 28th at Yankee Stadium. The game will kick off at 11. This will mark Nebraska's 54th bowl trip in the school's history, but the first since 2016. Boston College is 7-5 on the season. They are coached by first-year head coach Bill O'Brien, who previously served as the head coach at Penn State and with the Houston Texans in the NFL. The Nebraska volleyball team swept Florida A&M and Miami over the weekend in the NCAA tournament. The Huskers will face Dayton this weekend in the regional semifinals in Lincoln. The Nebraska women's basketball team beat Minnesota 84-65 last night at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Senior transfer Alberta Rimdahl led the Huskers with 12 points and 6 assists. Nebraska now 8-1 on the season. They're 1-0 in the Big Ten. They'll play host to Tarleton State on Wednesday. Tip-off will be at 7. A poor shooting afternoon proved costly for the Nebraska men's basketball team as the Huskers dropped their conference opener to Michigan State 89-52 on Saturday. Nebraska shot just 33% on the day, including 29% in the second half. Andrew Morgan had 14 points and 7 rebounds for the Huskers. Nebraska now 6-2. They are 0-1 in the conference. They'll play host to Indiana coming up on Friday. Nebraska running back Emmett Johnson is back. After announcing his intentions to enter the transfer portal on Thursday, Johnson announced on X last night his return to the team. Johnson finished the season with 523 yards rushing on 102 carries with 1 touchdown. He also caught 35 passes for 262 yards and a touchdown. Scott Frost, who guided Central Florida to a 13-0 record in 2017, is returning to the school for a second stint as head coach. Frost and Central Florida agreed on a 5-year contract through the 2029 season. Frost went 19-7 in 2 seasons with the Knights before departing for Nebraska. He went 16-31 in 4+ seasons with the Huskers and didn't have a single winning season. He was fired after the 3rd game of the 2022 season, a 45-42 home loss to Georgia Southern. Hastings College men's basketball team, they lost to Dakota Wesleyan 82-77 on Saturday at Lynn Farrell Arena. The Broncos now 1-7. They're 0-4 in the conference. Hastings College women, they lost to Dakota Wesleyan 65-53. The Broncos are now 6-2. They're 3-2 in the conference. Both teams will play at Concordia on Wednesday. Women's game will be at 6 with the men to follow at 7:45. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 5:45. That's a check on your sports headlines this morning. It is 7:22 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Sunny, mild, and breezy conditions on this Monday, and that'll continue into Tuesday as well. Hey, everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Community TV. Here's a look at your forecast. Today, a high around 40 degrees, sunny, breezy conditions with the northwest wind 15 to 20 miles per hour. We'll see gusts in the 30s as well. Overnight tonight, we'll dip into the low 30s. Partly cloudy skies overnight. Winds back off a little bit. Tuesday, we're right in the 40s again. Breezy conditions with winds gusting to the 20s as well.
As you wake up, get going this morning, we've got west winds at 7 miles per hour. Clear skies, it is 33 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
This holiday season, take control of your health and give the gift of wellness at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. From November 10th through December 31st, we're here to help you unwind, rejuvenate, and feel your best. Treat yourself or a loved one to our soothing massages, relaxing head spa scalp treatments, and luxurious Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing benefits of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Looking for an extra special gift? Our gift certificates are the perfect way to share the gift of wellness. Plus, become a member and enjoy 24-hour access to our exclusive therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members also save 20% on all services and 10% on products from our non-toxic retail shop. Give the gift of health, peace. Enjoy this holiday season only at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success. And now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
Again, good morning and welcome to Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. Mike Will and Tyson Urbanic with you on this Monday as we get you started. Another work week here. Started your Christmas shopping yet?
No. I'll start my Christmas shopping on December 23rd, as is per protocol and per usual. For me, as a guy that loves to do everything at the last minute. A couple comments coming in. We'll get to those. Lou Dog talking about the Chiefs, saying big problems on the O-line. Need to get that O-line fixed, and that everyone is giving their best against the defending reigning champions, which is no surprise there. Tammy says, good morning. Good morning to Tammy. And Little E chiming in, thinking it interesting on SMU, that they get a chance to contend for a national title 37 years to the day where they were given the death penalty by the NCAA. So, yes, now that you can pay players, SMU is learning how to play football again. So yeah, SMU, they had a little practice.
Well, they were dead in the water.
Yeah. They got the 1980s, right? They were paying players like well before NIL was a thing, and so the NCAA slapped their hand real good. And
maybe they knew what the future of college football was coming to.
I was going to say, now that they can pay players, SMU's had practice. They have a step ahead.
Jeez. We kind of talked about. I want to talk about Scotty Boy.
Let's do it.
We kind of talked about this last week when that Central Florida job opened up. And we kind of talked on this show last week. I said, don't be surprised that Scott Frost, I knew he was talking to him. I said, don't be surprised that Scott Frost is hired to come back there. Yep. Guess what happened over the weekend?
They Central Florida naming Scott Frost head coach. Already had the, like you said, home was already set up and everything. Just walks right back in like he never left.
They introduced him at a introductory kind of a celebration last night in Orlando.
I'm happy to be back. I can talk to you a little bit about this process, but first and foremost, I want to thank Terry and President Cartwright for giving me this opportunity. Life's funny. My time in Orlando is one of my favorite times of my life. It was a short period, 2 years. With some really good people and some relationships and some experiences that I'll never forget. It was hard for me to leave. It was emotional for me to leave, and there was a lot of pressure for me to go and do something else. Coaching's funny too. You put yourself out there and you compete and you do the best you can, and sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't work great. At UCF it worked great. sometimes it doesn't. And you take a lot of criticism, you take a lot of praise when things are going well, you take a lot of criticism when it's not. You take arrows, you take slings, you take cheers. I was in the NFL with the Rams. I'd like to thank those guys so much for they're kicking Buffalo's butt right now too, but for giving me an opportunity to get back on my feet. And it would have taken a lot for me to leave that. And when these guys called, this is honestly probably the one institution that I would have listened to leave that life and come back to. And the main reason is because of the people that I met that are here, the people that I met the first time when I was here, an opportunity to coach football again and do it at a high level, an opportunity to do it in a great community that my wife and I loved living in, and we can put roots down and raise our 3 children together in a place that we love to live. So I'm grateful to be here. I hope everybody doesn't think we're going to go undefeated immediately. There's some work to do. But last time I came, there was some work to do, and we got the right people, and we did the work. And as a coach, I just miss coaching. Miss being around these young guys and making a difference in young people's lives and a campus and a community. And I'm thrilled to be back, ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work and get the right people in here to do those things. And you know, someday if my legacy is to help this place get from where it was to where it is now, and then come back and help it take the next step and be viable contender for a lot of things, then that's great with me. And I'm excited to start on that process.
And with that, Scott Frost is back in the coaching ranks as he returns to Central Florida, down in Orlando.
There you go. And I just wonder, like, as we move along through the week, at some point it's going to be asked, right? Like, what happened? Where did it go south? I mean, I'm waiting for him to get that opportunity from the press to take a shot at his former employer, take a shot at Big Red. And from that standpoint, you know, 'cause I saw a lot of people on socials, right? Really wishing Scott Frost the best. You said, oh, it didn't work here. Really wish you the best moving forward. And I want to see if their tone changes if he gets an opportunity to take a dig. Just like he took a dig at my Buffalo Bills in that introductory press conference. If he gets the shot to take a dig, would he take it? Would he have enough humility to be the better person, be graceful in defeat?
I'm going to dive a little bit more into that. Like I said, it was a late night, kind of a celebration type of deal that Scotty Boy is coming back home. They call it back home in Orlando. So it was kind of a one of those type of deals. I'm going to dive into it a little bit more today. And if he has any other thing that came up in the conference last night, we'll certainly share that to the rest of the week.
Any potential cannon fodder that we can use for tomorrow, baby. Let's go.
So anyway, that's Scott Frost is back in the coaching ranks. And, I think I'm one of those guys that wish him well.
I don't wish him, like, not well. I want him to stay out of the national relevance scene. I don't mind if they contend for a conference championship every now and then. But I certainly don't want to see Central Florida lap Nebraska and become a playoff team next year, right?
Could be. It could happen.
That would be disgusting.
I saw some people on social media saying that we ought to schedule Central Florida now. I don't think we need to do that.
I don't think we need to do that.
But what happens if we match up someday in a bowl game? Would that be great?
It'd be great.
Be better than going to the Pinstripe Bowl and playing Boston College. Is that where
you want to go next? You want to go to New York City? Pinstripe
Might as well.
Boston College.
What was your take on that? I know you were excited about the Pinstripe Bowl, but what about playing Boston College?
Less excited about playing Boston College. More excited about the Pinstripe Bowl. I really thought with all those kind of former Big 12 opponents that we have that we have bowl eligible, because isn't it Oklahoma and Missouri are playing, right? Or is it?
I don't know who's playing
Yeah,
who, but
I think Oklahoma and Missouri got a matchup. But yeah, I was thinking all of these potential, former historic palatable matchups that we could potentially get locked into. No, we draw Boston College, a team that we have very little history with, and
never played them.
The only reason I know Boston College is Doug Flutie and that Miami experience from 1984. That's their claim to relevance. So
Bill O'Brien is the head coach. Of course,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I was reading the advanced stuff that they sent us.
I bet
Bill
on Boston
O'Brien,
College twice this year. Didn't even know who their head coach was.
Yeah, they're the Eagles, aren't they?
Yeah, Golden Eagles.
So you got to at least know who the mascot is if you're going to bet on them.
Yeah, Eagles.
That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bill O'Brien, who we got a little rapport with. He was the head coach for Penn State for a while.
Yeah.
And he moved on to the NFL with the Houston Texans. I don't know if he was in the league the same time that Matt Rule's in the league.
Possibly.
Sounds
about right.
They might have a relationship there.
A little cross path, a little history.
Well, we have 3 weeks to really dive into this, so
we've got a lot of time.
I don't want to waste all my valuable information today.
But no, I mean, initial knee-jerk reaction was I was excited to play in Yankee Stadium because, again, I'm not going to the bowl game anyway, so I don't care where the destination is. I want to see beautiful scenes on my HD TV, and I think that the backdrop for the Pinstripe Bowl, playing in a baseball stadium, being a baseball guy, is going to provide that for me. And so I'm very content with being in the Pinstripe Bowl. I know a lot of people are not. I know I'm on an island over here, Tyson's Island. It gets really lonely, and there's probably nobody else that's hopping on the island with me this time, unlike last time with court storming. This time I'm pretty sure I'm by myself, and I'm okay with that because I'm going to have beautiful backdrops and great scenes for a bowl game, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. That said, I was a little disappointed that we not only did we draw a bottom of the barrel kind of bowl game, we draw a bottom of the barrel kind of opponent in Boston College, and I don't believe that gives us a really good measuring stick at where our program is at versus maybe another program that could potentially be also building back up. I wanted to see a builder. I wanted to see us going up against a former powerhouse that's going through the exact same crap that we are right now and trying to get back to relevance and trying to get back to being one of the top 12 teams in the nation and contending for a national title.
Win more than 6 games in.
I don't think we drew that with Boston College.
Oh, you got to win more than 6 games.
Once you win 6, you pit us up against whoever the hell you want, right? Like,
I know, but
the bowl games don't matter, so make the best matchups possible if you're the NCAA.
Yeah, who's gonna go to your TV set on Saturday, December the 28th, and say, "Hey, we got to sit down. Let's get all of it." Other than the people in Nebraska, we got to get our buddies together, and we're gonna sit down and watch Nebraska and Boston College in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Other than Husker fans, gamblers, right?
Yeah.
Like there's two people,
Yep.
two groups of people that are gonna watch the Pinstripe Bowl.
I don't know.
Bowl games again, they don't matter anyway. Doesn't matter.
No, just the 12-team playoff. That's
If you're not playing for 12, you're not. If you're not playing for a title, and I know that's really still raw and prize on a lot of people's emotions that think that you got to complete the process and finish things and should be just excited to play football. No, not a one of these kids is excited anymore. They're not playing for a title. That's the mentality of 2024. If you're not playing for a championship, just go out and have fun. Treat it like the Pro Bowl. I'm thinking, from our standpoint, bring in the youth, right? Bring in the guys that are going to be on the depth chart next year. We'll get an opportunity, an early look to move some things around, see some things, and some players in some different real competition. And so that excites me.
But that's going to be the case anyway, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The people that have declared for the transfer portal, they're not going to be on hand.
Hang out with us.
And some of the guys that might have an NFL career next year, some of the seniors, they might not play in this game. I haven't heard of any yet, and the coach will probably tell us which ones are going and which ones are not. But that's a possibility. Some of our seniors might not play in this game for fear of maybe getting hurt before their NFL careers. So that happens all the time. If you're not playing for anything, what are they going to give us in the Pinstripe Bowl?
You get a trophy, right?
I think you get a trophy.
I mean, like a New York Yankees-inspired trophy. Everyone thinks it's like playing the refs. We got Tammy over here saying we might as well be playing the refs if we're playing the Pinstripe Bowl. Ryan Martin chiming in like he's got the perfect attire for the Pinstripe Bowl. He's ready to roll. And
he says, yeah, we should wear pinstripe pants. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he does. His mentality change with the 105. It's essentially a tryout now. So maybe the mentality changes because he goes trying to get down to that 105-man roster, and you're essentially trying to try out for next year's squad. So maybe he's assuming the mentality changes a little bit. And so there you go. We're brought up to speed.
We're going to get excited. We're going to get excited for this bowl game when we get closer, I'm sure. Right now, I'm going, oh, wow.
Hey, I mean,
wow.
We have 3 weeks of additional practice, which we haven't had, which we absolutely need from a program standpoint. I'm excited for the game. I mean, again, I'm excited for the game. I'm not excited for the opponent.
All right, leave us a message. Are you excited about the Huskers playing in the Pinstripe Bowl against Boston College? Drop us a message on Facebook Live or Twitch or wherever you're listening to us today, or better yet, give us a call. Chime in that way, 402-834-1330. So we talked about Scott Frost. We talked about the bowl game. Emmett Johnson.
Reverse.
He decided last week he was going to enter the transfer portal, and everybody was up in arms. Oh, that's a big loss for us. That's a big loss.
That's a starter.
Well, then he decided last night, he announced on X that he's going to come back.
There you go.
Emmett Johnson is not entering the transfer portal, so he's going to be available to play in the Pinstripe Bowl. Maybe he had an inside scoop.
Oh,
he knew we were going to play at the Pinstripe Bowl, and he says, yeah, I want to be part of that.
I think that there was, obviously with Emmett this year, there was a lot of underutilization. And I would say underutilized back in the first 8 weeks of the season as we were rolling out Dodell and Ramir Johnson. And Emmett Johnson was one of those guys that found the hole and got through the hole. Would be patient enough to give his line the opportunity to create that hole in the running lane for him. But for the most part of the season, until Dana came on board, Emmett Johnson was an underutilized back. And so maybe there was some harbored feelings of, I didn't really have the season, I didn't have the numbers that I was hoping for. My guess is he got a call from somebody in Nebraska said, you realize if you're going into the transfer portal for playing time opportunities, you are back number 1 next year. Oh, really? Can I go ahead and run that back to the transfer portal? Or maybe gets out into kind of the great unknown, starts making a few calls, realizes that some of his potential landing spots weren't going to be potential landing spots, and so walks it back. We'll redo the down. It's okay. Like Emmett never left. Welcome back, sir. Emmett Johnson, likely, in all likelihood, depending on what we do in the transfer portal, going to be the future of Nebraska running backs. So he'll have the job next year.
So Emmett Johnson is back. A lot of things happened this weekend that that happened fast. Scott Frost is back as the head coach. Emmett Johnson is back with the Nebraska football team. A lot of things happened over the weekend pretty quickly. The Nebraska volleyball team, they just continue doing their thing. The Huskers, they beat Florida A&M. They crushed them.
Speaking of quick, how about that first set, 25-3?
I've never seen a volleyball game 25-3.
I thought the TV graphics were glitching when I saw like 23, and I'm looking over there and I go, does that say 3 or 13? And they said it's 3. And I'm like, oh geez. Oh,
Nebraska allowed the less points for your opponents, like in NCAA history. Is that right?
Yeah.
They waxed Florida A&M.
9 and what?
7.
Yeah, it was
something
ugly.
like that.
It was ugly.
And then they beat Miami on Saturday. So the Huskers, they will move on to the regional semifinals this week. They'll play Dayton on Friday, and then they'll have another opponent coming up on Saturday in Wisconsin. If Wisconsin wins, I think Wisconsin's going to be.
Yeah, right.
I think if Wisconsin will be in Lincoln as well. So
or on the whiskey side, yep.
That could be a big matchup on Saturday. Anyway, John Cook, he talked about his match with Miami on Saturday.
First of all, congratulations to Miami. I mean, if you look at their season, they've had a great season. in the new ACC. They beat 2 top 5 teams, and I thought this was one of the tougher second-round matchups for some of the higher-seeded teams. And you can see the athletes they have and the arms that they have. And but I thought our blocking defense did a great job of wearing them down and frustrating them. And I thought we served pretty well at times, got them in some trouble, and they really couldn't set middle much. And I thought we made plays when we needed to make plays to just keep the momentum and keep the crowd into it. And it was a really, really nice effort by our team tonight.
So that's John Cook following the Huskers' victory on Saturday over Miami. They'll get ready to play Dayton coming up this Friday. Again, the times will be announced here shortly, and TV stuff and all that stuff will be released here soon.
I was watching actually some coverage from the NCAA volleyball tournament, and I will give kudos to ESPN Plus for their coverage of the tournament, because not only was every match available on ESPN Plus, which I know is frustrating for a lot of Husker fans that are looking to find a spot that don't maybe have access to that, but if you do have ESPN Plus, they did phenomenal tournament coverage, because they did I think it was like the 5th set or something like that. I don't remember the program, but it was like an NFL red zone of the entire NCAA volleyball field, and they would go around from like match to match and just do whip around coverage. I was more fascinated with that when Nebraska wasn't playing, so I was able to put some eyeballs on some of these teams, and Dayton is no pushover by any stretch of the imagination. I thought Dayton was playing a very good volleyball in their 2 wins. So excited to see Nebraska match up against the Flyers and on that side of the bracket. And there's no guarantee now that you're into the Sweet 16 that things are going to go chalk. So yeah, we could set up that palatable potential matchup with a conference rival in Wisconsin, but there's no guarantee at this point. You mentioned that don't sleep on Florida A&M because they beat us in the past, and I'm going to tell you this week as we lead into and get set for Sweet 16 coverage, don't sleep on Dayton. Got a chance to put eyeballs on them, and then they look like a very good volleyball squad. I will say this, the way this team is playing right now, and I'm talking about Nebraska, it would take a Herculean effort to uproot them from their quest for another national championship. But Dayton can certainly trouble us in a few spots. A couple comments that rolling in. Brian Shaw chiming in. Good morning, Brian. He says, happy for the players. We're going back to the bowl game. Happy for the players that they will get to experience the bowl game and all the pomp and circumstance that goes with that. It's the reward for working year-round to improve. So making those improvements, going to bowl games. Brian Shaw, happy camper that we are heading to the Pinstripe Bowl.
He didn't say that he was excited about playing Boston College,
He
though.
did not specifically say that he was excited for the opponents.
Nebraska women's basketball team picked up a big win last night. They beat Minnesota handily. Minnesota had been previously undefeated on the season. Huskers opening up the Big Ten Conference season. They beat Minnesota yesterday 84-65 at PBA, and head coach Amy Williams was obviously happy with the win.
Just thrilled with the contributions that we were able to get from up and down our roster today to secure a really important conference home game. Just really want to make sure we take care of business here in Pinnacle Bank Arena, and I thought we had just an amazing crowd to play in front of today, and so to come out there and secure the win, it was really a good start. We like to be 1-0.
They're 1-0 now in the conference, 8-1 on the season, and ranked number 25 in last week's poll. So the Husker women's basketball team off to a good start.
Cruising along without Natalie Potts. I was curious to see how you would do without your top scorer from a year ago, and obviously that injury was a big one. But you watched them lately. They're still clicking. It was a next man up mentality for them, and they'll keep chipping away. Top 25 ranking. Just excited to see how they've battled through adversity here early on in the regular season.
Nebraska men's basketball team were not as fortunate. They played on Saturday at Michigan State and lost to a Smarty by the score of 89-52. As I mentioned, the Huskers, a poor shooting day. They hit only 29% of their field goals in the second half, 33% for the ball game. Nebraska head coach Fred Hoiberg.
They played great. Give a lot of credit to Michigan State.
I thought they've been really good their last two games against North Carolina and the game at Minnesota to start league play. And I knew that they were clicking. Made 11 threes in their last one, and if this team makes shots, they're going to be very, very dangerous. And Coach Izzo has these guys playing with a lot of confidence right now. Their physicality overwhelmed us tonight. That was the bottom line. They beat us up on the glass. They were very physical on the other end. We had trouble getting open against them. We didn't do a good job screening to get our guys open. So again, a lot of credit goes to Michigan State.
Huskers will take on Indiana coming up on Friday night. That'll be at PBA. So Husker women, they won over the weekend. The Husker men dropping one.
There you go.
There you go. Brings you up to date on the Huskers.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground here in the first 50 minutes of the show, and we'll probably I want to squeeze in the baseball news over the weekend, if you would enlighten me. The 15-year, $765 million deal for Juan Soto, as Juan Soto, the most talked about free agent in the market for the second time around, I believe, in his baseball career that he has been the most talked about free agent. He gets picked up, largest deal in baseball history, 15 years, $765 million. He's going to go to the New York Mets, who are no strangers to making long-term contracts with players, paying a lot of money that they have to pay every year after the player retires, a.k.a. Bobby Bonilla Day. This could be take two of that. You are locking in an MLB veteran for 15 years.
How much money?
$765 million.
God. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we're magic money, right?
The Mets came up with that much cash?
$765 million. As he will head to the New York Metropolitans. And I don't know. Again, I am along the lines, these deals are going to cripple the sport. And I don't say that meaning like, oh my God, it's just too rich and whatever. The thing is, you're throwing all your eggs in one basket. And you go back to the Shohei deal. And how much of that is on back pay for Shohei Ohtani over in L.A.? When Shohei retires, L.A. is going to have no money to pay anybody. They're looking for a quick hit now with the fan base. They're looking for a World Series now. And so when this ownership and this general management is long since gone, these fans are going to suffer for these extremely idiotic wastes of money. And then Soto's already a veteran. He's been in the league for, 8 years now? 7, 8 years. I know he was a great talent in Washington. But then over in San Diego, never really got off the ground. Flips over to New York, has a little bit more success in that lineup. But now you're going back to New York, and you're the star of the show. And you're going to have to carry that team.
Obviously, he's got a good agent.
I don't think it pans out. It doesn't work out. It'll work out for Juan Soto.
$700 million.
$765 million.
All right.
All right.
That's baseball for you, huh?
There you go.
All right. 7:52 here on Extreme Sports as we get you up, get you rolling here. Brand new work week here. It's a Monday.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union, proud to be your trusted long-term financial partner. They're committed to providing the highest level of quality services. The Hastings Federal Credit Union provides banking services to all those living or working in Adams, Clay, Webster, Nuckolls, Thayer, and Fillmore counties. And with affordable loan rates, mobile banking, and a friendly staff that treats you like family, why would you go anywhere else? That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online, hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We start off with news on the economy this morning as Buffalo Wild Wings Go has officially opened in Hastings, opening at 11 a.m. on Friday morning with customers waiting at the door to get their first dibs on the wings. B-Dubs will be open until 11 on weekdays and open until midnight on Fridays and Saturdays in Hastings. Plans for a Qdoba Go in the same building are also in the works. as well, with a target open date set for sometime in 2025. Also set to open in 2025, the Grand Island Casino Resort, 7 stories tall with fine dining restaurant on the very top floor and beautiful views, all promised. Also promised, another big economic impact driver, as the hotel and casino are looking to hire an additional 200 jobs. The University of Nebraska's economic impact on the state has grown from $5.8 billion to $6.4 billion in the past 3 years, as members of the Board of Regents heard about the university's economic impact on the state at their most recent board meeting last week. The full report will be published in early 2025 that looks at university spending in the state, as well as the money spent by employees, students, and visitors for university events. The report shows the university investing $10 back to the state for every dollar it receives, information that will be very vital as university officials start budget discussions with state lawmakers coming up in January. 5 minutes till 8 o'clock. We'll swing things back to the East Side Studios with a quick check on sports. Here's Mike Will.
Well, Nebraska will make its return to the postseason in New York City, as the Huskers have been selected to play in the Pinstripe Bowl against Boston College on Saturday, December 28th at Yankee Stadium. The game will kick off at 11. This will be the 54th bowl trip in the school's history for Nebraska, but the first since 2016. Nebraska volleyball team, they will play in the regional semifinals in Lincoln this weekend. They'll take on Dayton on Friday. The time will be announced sometime today. The Nebraska women's basketball team picking up a big win over Minnesota last night. The Gophers had been undefeated until last night. Huskers beat them 84-65. So Nebraska now 8-1 in the season, 1-0 in the Big Ten. Huskers will take on Tarleton State coming up on Wednesday. Tip-off will be at 7. The Nebraska men, they lost to Michigan State on Saturday, 89-52. The Huskers now 6-2 in the season. They've got Indiana coming into PBA on Friday. Nebraska running back Emmett Johnson is back after announcing his intentions to enter the transfer portal. He's changed his mind and has rejoined the team. Former Husker football coach Scott Frost has a new job. He's going back to Central Florida, where he coached the team to a 13-0 record in 2017. He signed a 5-year contract. It'll take him through the 2029 season. Hastings College basketball teams, they lost to Dakota Wesleyan on Saturday afternoon at Lynn Farrell Arena. The Broncos will play at Concordia on Wednesday. Women's game will be at 6 with the men at 7:45. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame show at 5:45 on Wednesday afternoon.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Sunny, mild, and breezy conditions on this Monday, and that'll continue into Tuesday as well. Hey, everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Community TV. Here's a look at your forecast. Today, a high around 40 degrees, sunny, breezy conditions with the northwest wind 15 to 20 miles per hour. We'll see gusts in the 30s as well. Overnight tonight, we'll dip into the low 30s. Partly cloudy skies overnight, winds back off a little bit. Tuesday, we're right in the 40s again, breezy conditions with winds gusting to the 20s as well.
We've got west winds this morning at 7, clear skies 33 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Urbanik here on Extreme Sports. Huddle up here at 7:58 as we get you out the door here this morning.
just getting out the door for another week, and coming up later on this week, going to be lining up an interview with the Crane Trust. They're putting on an event, I believe, coming up on December 12th, so we'll hear more about that as we swing on over to near the Wood River area on the exit there, so we'll learn more about the Crane Trust and one of the events that they got coming up this week. Should be a fun-filled week, and going to be obviously busy with the transfer portal. I know that you'll be keeping close tabs on that. That officially opens today. Could be a wild, wild West show out there. So buckle up, be ready, and we'll push you through to another week.
Got some new people that were watching us today. Donna.
Quite a few guests in the
people
in the queue today. So
That's
welcome
all right.
aboard. Like, share, follow, and make sure the biggest thing is tell your friends. Tell your friends to do what you did and wake up with us every morning at the breakfast table as we get you all the news, weather, and sports to get you out the door. Fastest growing morning show, and we love being a part of it. So
it's the best one too,
and that too.
But our picks are not very good.
Picks could use some work. Thanks to me for adding to the
good thing we got
credibility.
Good thing we got Stroman back in the starting rotation.
Yeah, he finally pitched a good game yesterday. So we got six innings out of him, and hopefully we're gonna extend his arm a little bit this week, and we're gonna have to dive into the NFL.
I don't know. Are we gonna have blazing 5 picks this week? What do we got?
Got a five NFL games, man. Maybe take an Army Navy bonus pick.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah. Yep. The Army Navy bonus pick, and then find some NFL games.
We'll probably have to do that.
We could get creative. We could do some college hoops in there too.
There's got to be some college football that no one cares about.
No, I don't believe there. I mean, well, maybe like Division II.
Yeah, is there lines on those?
Yeah, I'll find out. FCS
Anyway,
games.
Let's see. Tonight we've got NFL football. What do we got? Cincinnati and Cowboys.
Cincinnati and Dallas, and we need Joe Burrow. I am trailing my fantasy football game by about 69 points, and Joe Burrow's got to come through. I have not crushed 30 points, and I'm down to one player.
God, that's embarrassing.
Joe Burrow has to have a Josh Allen-like game.
That's embarrassing.
Points. Oh, it's bad. Take a look at my lineup when you get home. It's bad.
I'll check it out here. All right.
There you go.
Well,
So
I think we've pretty well. I'm gonna dive more into Scotty Boy's ceremony last night down in Orlando.
See if he touched all the bases.
See if he threw any daggers our way.
There you go. Sounds good.
All right, so that's what we got. Nothing on TV tonight other than football.
Your Monday Night Football TV guide, Cincinnati, Dallas. Let's all get together and get on the Bungles bandwagon and go Joe Burrow. Give me some fantasy points. TV
all right,
guide, ESPN.
All right. Have yourself a great day.
You too.
We'll be back tomorrow morning, hopefully, if all goes well.
Bright and early.
7 o'clock. We'll see you tomorrow.